devil, through Islam, has controlled the whole area. And we're there to shine for Jesus and to release people from this bondage that they are in. And so, yes, we are in the devil's den, preaching Christ. When you are in a 95% Muslim area, where is the light there? There is no light. And that's what God has called us for. And I think in the last 50 to 60 years, meager efforts have been taken to reach the Muslim world to Christ. And I can understand why. Because people are Islamophobic. Islam is violent. It promotes violence on different levels. It depends on the circumstance and what's around it. And people are afraid. But I do think that we have a weapon that is much greater than violence and can overcome violence. And that is love. Most of the times we either want to love and not in sincerity, or we want to say the truth and not love. I do believe that in evangelism, love and truth go together. If you love people without any reservation, unconditionally, sacrificially, you will be able to stand and say the truth to them. They will accept it from you because they know that you love them. If you don't love them and you want to say the truth, they're not going to accept it from you because they think you are a hypocrite. You're saying something and you're acting differently. What we do in Tyre today is we love on people. We sacrifice. They see that we go not 1 mile, but 3 miles. They know that we love them. And so we can stand and say to them, we do not agree with you. We don't believe what you believe in is right. And that is why. And there is a risk of us getting hurt? Yes. But who said that preaching the gospel is without a cost? Jesus said, in the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So this was a prophetic statement by Jesus. Before we even went out, he told us we're going to have problems. But he also told us that we're going to be victorious. We're serving in Tyre, and we know we're going to have the victory. It has been given unto you not only to believe, but also to suffer. If any man would come after me, let him take up his cross, deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. So it's clear in the Bible that when you evangelize, when you tell people about Jesus, you're going to suffer. Now, if God's grace does not permit that for a reason or another, that's good. My wife and I went down to Tyre and we counted the cost. She knew that we could die. And I knew that we could die. And we both knew that our children could be in jeopardy. But we also knew that the God who called us and the God who sent us, He will take care of us. He will protect us. And if the time comes and we have to be offered up for Him to be glorified, then we had no problem with that. That was the mindset that we went down to Tyre with. There were times they put me in prison because I clearly declared that Islam and Christianity are not the same. And they don't lead to the same God. And if you understand anything about Lebanon, this is a no-no because you're rocking the boat. Everybody wants to live happy with each other in Lebanon. And I stood on public TV in front of 6 million people and I said, Islam is as far from Christianity as hell is far from heaven. And that was enough to put me in prison. They made a scheme about my past and they rolled me in. But I knew that. That was a cost I would pay. Before that, they attacked our van, they hit my wife, they broke the glass of our van as my wife was taking back children from Sunday school. So the cost is there. A few days ago, they broke our signs in Tyre because one Muslim guy was converted and he openly and publicly declared that I'm a Christian. So to me, persecution is part of the game. And any Christian who thinks he can avoid persecution, I think that is not possible. As we've said before, we are in the devil's den. You're attacking the fortress of the devil. The devil is not going to kiss you if you attack him. He's going to attack back. He's not stupid. He's smart. He knows that he cannot be sitting and looking at you. And anytime you try to avoid persecution, you have to do it on the expense of the gospel. You will compromise your stand in order to avoid persecution. And I don't want to compromise my stand. I don't want to compromise the gospel to avoid persecution. Many people, under the pretext of wisdom, say, you have to be wise. I don't know how wise you can be. I don't think we can be more wise than Jesus Christ. He came and he had to be persecuted and he had to die. There was no other way. And for the gospel to spread out and for people to know the truth, we have to die too. For the Muslim people to know Christ, we have to die. There has to be a line of martyrs, I think, in the future before these people understand that there is a God that loves them. If we're not ready to pay that cost, I don't think anything is going to happen. Sometime we have to pay that cost. And I think for the 100 years that passed, we're postponing the payment. But Christianity was spread in the first century church by the blood of the martyrs. People died. That's how Christianity was spread. That's how we conquered. Today, in order to conquer, we have to be ready to die. People ask me in churches, what makes a good missionary? And my answer is always, are you ready to die? If you're not ready to die, pack it and go home. Don't be a missionary. Stay where you are. You have to be ready to die to be a missionary. And I think this was the life theme of every missionary, successful missionary. They were ready to die for Jesus.